to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Man, the weeks come by, and the weeks come pretty quick. It's Thursday all over again. Always good to spend some time with you guys on Thursday night. No, this title is not clickbaity. I mean it when I say position yourself for the Pokemon investing crash. And I mean that. Oh, why did I use certain words? I wrote position yourself for the Pokemon investing crash. That's a little different than preparing yourself for the Pokemon investing crash. And what I mean by that is you kind of have to look. I think one of the things a lot of people say is, are you actually doing what you're saying? I think that's a big thing. When it especially comes from content creators, it's like, you say a lot, but are you actually doing what you're saying? And I personally feel as I'm putting myself in a position to position myself for Pokemon investing crash to happen. Right now, make no mistake about it. We are in the boom of booms. Everyone talks about 2020, 2021 as the boom of booms. That was not. At the time, we thought it was, but we were wrong. Everyone said Black Swan event. Oh man, the word Black Swan event got thrown around a lot. You know what? Total transparency, I probably use the word Black Swan event because there was always the question of what would the catalyst be, right? Because that was a conversation we had. What would be the catalyst to have another Black Swan event? And a weird thing happened. There was no catalyst for this. This is just, it feels in a way organic, and then it felt organic at the beginning, and then the scalpers and the bots and everyone trying to make money, that came in, and that doesn't feel organic. But to get to the precipice, having a mini stroke, to get to the point where we just were about to boom, it was organic. It was everybody that came in 2020, 2021, and then we just got right to that point. We got right to that boiling point, right? And you think about a pot of water, and that the water's hot. It's getting ready to boil. It's just about to have that light switch happen where it's about to flip on and it's going to boil. It was organic getting to that point. So we didn't have this Black Swan event. It was just organic. But then once the water started to boil, we couldn't stop it. It was ripping, it was roaring, the bubbles and the water was flowing all over the pot. It was game over at that point. That's when now it's starting to feel a little inorganic, especially with a lot of the people. I've had conversations with people telling me that they were standing in line waiting for the restocks, and people were standing in line, or they weren't telling me, excuse me. I think they were either writing it in, I want to say it was either the Professor Oak's Discord or the Rowell's Discord. Sometimes I confuse the two. But they wrote a comment that they were standing in line. Yeah, they didn't actually tell me they wrote this. That they were standing in line with somebody waiting for the Pokemon restock. And the person that said, oh, if the Pokemon restocker doesn't come today, I'm just going to go to the vacuum section because you could flip, and he talked about a certain vacuum. He said, you could flip that vacuum for $20 all day. That's the type of people that are now in the hobby, where the people that are just going to go to whatever they could flip the easiest. Right now they're at Pokemon, but if the Pokemon restock doesn't go, they just walk over to the vacuum section. That's not the organic. Hopefully we're on the same page there. But what I mean by it is position yourself for the Pokemon investing crash. It goes back to, are you actually doing what you're saying? Listen, I am full-time Pokemon now, Monday of this week. I'm officially 4 days in. I said the weekend I wasn't technically full-time. I said I was going to wait till Monday. Since Monday, I'm full-time Pokemon. I do not have another job. This is it. What you're looking at right now, the Grandma's Basement, this is my Superman Fortress of Solitude right here. This is the Grandma's Basement. This is now where dreams are made, or really maybe where dreams come to die. Maybe this is the Grandma's Basement, basking under the fluorescent lights. That's me, that I don't have sunlight anymore. Superman needs sunlight to recharge himself. It's the Earth's yellow sun gives him his powers. Maybe I don't have a sun. Maybe I just have these giant fluorescent light bulbs shining upon me. And I'm doing it. I'm full-time. 4 days. 4 days. That's a big deal. That's a big life event. And I'm doing it. And the reason I did that is because I think I'm positioning myself. And when I say myself, and I mean me and Dan and Ponga, I believe I'm positioning ourselves for the Pokemon crash. And what I mean by that is right now, and this goes out to every single person watching this, and I mean this, you need to be positioning yourselves and putting you in a position to capitalize on this market right now today. Because if the downturn does come, you have to make sure that you are so well positioned right now. We are booming. Trust me, we're booming. You have to do everything it takes. Everything. Whatever you can do to be successful right now. And I mean that. And I'm saying this because it's what I'm doing. It's why I quit my job. I mean it. I think, I know people don't want me talking about streaming. Sorry, I'm just going to talk about why I positioned myself the way I did. I saw an opportunity that we could position ourselves on a platform that right now is still gate kept in the sense that any seller can't go on. Whatnot, forget about it. Open season, anybody and their mother could go stream on Whatnot. You could probably go stream on Whatnot tomorrow if you wanted. You probably have to do the application, and tomorrow you could hit the go live button and you could be streaming on Whatnot. eBay, a little bit different. eBay is still a little gate kept, but way more competition. Fanatics Live just had this, it was a just untapped, unutilized area of the market. And right now, before I went live, it was like, okay, I could do the nighttime lives, and I was streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Pongo was streaming Thursday and Sunday. And there was a position where the daytime streams were untouched by us. We didn't stream daytimes. When the market eventually crashes, you need to establish yourself someplace, no matter where you decide to establish yourself. And it doesn't have to be streaming. It could just be your eBay store. It could be your connections in the hobby. And we will talk about connections, how you need to establish connections in the hobby. We are booming right now. Everything you should be doing is spending as much time as possible. Whatever spare time you have right now in this hobby, you need to be dedicating it to Pokemon. Because the same way as a couple months back when I put now is the acquisition phase, where now is the time to start acquiring stuff, when the downturn does happen and you want to continue to be successful, because I'm going to be honest with you, anyone can be successful right now. Pokemon is a game of, really, I mean this, Pokemon is a game of chess, right? And in a game of chess, you're going to have to be really methodical, and you're going to have to think through all your moves. Some people are still playing chess, but the thing is right now, there's a lot of people just playing checkers. And you know what? They're loving it. Checkers is way, way simpler than chess. You got the red pieces, you got the black pieces. And you know what? And if you want to play checkers, screw it. I'll play checkers with you too, and I'll let you jump two of my guys, because I'll just wait for the triple jump, you know? I'll position myself so you could just get your jumps. But when it comes time for it to actually matter for the game, I'm going to do the triple jump. And that's the way you got to be thinking about, because it's checkers right now for a lot of people. This hobby is turn your brain off mode and just go at it. If you position yourself now, you will come out of this crazy boom way, way better position. And for me, the way I just looked at it was, if the hype fails and I want to continue running with Pokemon, what do I have to do to position myself for when, the eventual crash or the eventual downturn comes? Do I write crash in the title? Do I do it in all capital letters? Of course I do. It's YouTube. Welcome to the algorithm, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. That's what you do. You put crash, you put the red arrow down. Maybe I'll put a green arrow up in a couple weeks in the same video. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But position yourself. Get yourself in a spot where you just have market capitalization. And that's where we needed to be. We didn't have it. We were getting close, but we weren't there yet. The daytime streams were a huge... The way I looked at it is, Fanatics Live, we needed to be the number one streamer. Hands down. There's not a lot of competition right now. We don't have the Whatnot established sellers. We don't have to go on eBay and go against the eBay established sellers. We have to position ourselves so we are the top TCG seller on Fanatics. Now, We did do that inadvertently, just doing nighttime streams. We became the #1 TCG seller. There are still big sports guys, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about TCG. But then when you looked at the entire day streams, there's just a gap. We were not the #1 daytime streamer. We just weren't. We were not. We were not positioning ourselves to be the #1 daytime streamer. That is bad. That is the way I kept looking at things. I'm like, we can't be positioning ourselves to be successful, but not position ourselves to just be an all-around the #1 TCG streamer. Sure, it's nice to be the #1 overall and the #1 at night, and maybe you have the best hourly number, or just whatever. But you need to position yourself so you are the all-around #1. And that's when I made the conscious decision is, if I'm going to do this, I have to dedicate all my time to it, and I will dedicate as many hours as I need to make things into a reality. It's a lot of people, I feel, and especially in this hobby, that they have this thought and they have these delusions of grandeur. And delusions of grandeur are necessities in anybody's life, because I think the delusions of grandeur allow you to continue to progress and maybe have that carrot on the string just always kind of gives you something to reach for. And I think people use the word delusion and they give it like poor connotations to it, like delusion's a bad thing. Delusions is not always a bad thing. Delusions could sometimes give somebody something to strive for. When you think about the people that are just the most successful, they probably, one common thing across the board on all super successful people at the highest level is their thoughts and their plans probably sounding like delusions of grandeur to so many people. It's like, you want to do what? You want to, wait, how much time are you going to put into that? That's not possible. It's forming your own reality. And right now, the only thing that I am truly limited by is the thing that I talk about more than anything else on this channel. If you guys are not new to this channel, you know there's one word, and one word that I say above all others, and it's just 4 letters. Time. Time. Time is the most valuable resource we have as humans, and it's as a person, it is our only non-renewable resource, hardcore. We don't get the time back, and it's just, how can I use my time and capitalize and maximize my time? I think that is probably the better word, maximizing your time. And the problem with maximizing your time is nothing is a sprint in this hobby. Everything truly is a marathon. I talk about that all the time, that Pokemon is a marathon. But right now, when we are booming, whatever you got in the gas tank, you got to do it. You can't, I get it. I said it forever. Pokemon is a marathon, and it is in the long term. But right now, you got to be sprinting. You got to be emptying your gas tank. You got to do whatever it takes, because if you cannot be successful right now, today, you may never be able to be successful. And you can give yourself all the reasons why you shouldn't do something or why you don't want to do something. You will have time in the future. See, I'm going to use that time word again. You'll have time in the future, but right now, today, is your time to capitalize. You have to just be position yourself, and it doesn't matter what facet of the Pokemon business you are doing. Position yourself so you are successful in the long term. Right now, I'm telling you, this is game of checkers. Everybody's is playing it. Everybody's having fun. Start to move away a little bit from, checkers, and start to play more of the game of chess. Start to not just move the pawns around. Start to pull out the pieces. Moving the pawns around, that's what we did for the last 6-7 months. Started to move the pawns around. Your queen's been sitting back there on that line for a long time now. And you've just been waiting to pull your queen out. And now's the time. This is the moment. You have to be maximizing every single thing you are doing right now. And that's why it's the word position yourself for the Pokemon investing crash and not preparing. Now, preparing is a way different conversation. Preparing means you're going to start to become, super liquid. You're going to start to sell off on positions. You're going to start to really position yourselves for things to no longer be booming. That's what, the difference between positioning and preparing is. Preparing is the shit's about to hit the fan. We are just positioning right now, because in order to position, you have to actually, grow into something. And positioning right now, we could be in a 5-year boom. We could be in a 10-year boom. We could be in a 1-year boom. Now, I'm trying to look at this as rationally as I can. And trust me, I have internal conversations with myself all the time, internal conversations with other people. Unfortunately, I deal with Disclaimer Dan all the time. Dan's always giving me the disclaimers, telling me how things is going to go down. And I have to constantly, almost on a daily, every time I talk to Dan, when he tells me, I'm like, Dan, I quit my job. We're doing this. Dan, you fucked. Sorry. Shout out to Dan. Dan, you fucked. You got me. You're stuck with me now. You're stuck. You're fucked. You're fucked. We're fucked together. It's going. That's just the problem of it. We have to now just position ourselves, and it can't be take your foot off the gas right now. It's foot on the gas, like hardcore foot to the gas, red line it. Shout out Dominic Torero. Live your life a quarter mile at a time. That type of shit. Like, it's got to be hard now, because I'm telling you, look around you in the most metaphoric way possible. Look around you in the Pokemon hobby and look at everything that's going on. Everything. Now, when I talked about, I don't know if we're in a 1-year, 5-year, 10-year boom, I could only see so far into the future. And shout out to old Mr. Scott S.M. Pratt. Scott, famous line, he has 2 balls and neither one of them is crystal. And I'll steal Scott's line for this one. I also have 2 balls and neither one of them is crystal. So, I can only see so far into the future, but the question is, what do you see right now in the near term? And these are things I already said on previous videos. It's Journey Together is getting bought out on Pokemon Center at drop. People are now selling, Journey Together at MSRP, and people are thanking them. They're being thanked. Thank you for selling me this at a booster box at $161. We booming. Team Rocket set coming out right off the heels of that. We booming. Prismatic Evolutions, we are living in the moment. It feels like, yes, a lot of people talk about it. Traumatic executions, and yeah, the pull rates can be rough, but we are living in it. Nobody wants Surgeon Sparks anymore. Surgeon Sparks is vintage at this point. Remember, it's modern. Modern are the better. Prismatic, good. Surgeon Sparks, bad. That's vintage. Bad. We don't like... Get away. If you've seen sales numbers of Surgeon Sparks, do I have a piece of paper? Here. I will give you... This is what Surgeon Sparks sales numbers look like. Yeah, I will show you. Right? This is release. Release. Right there. Let's point a little arrow. That's the release. Ready? At release. Modern. Nothing else. We booming. Right here. That little circle. That's when Prismatic was released. And guess what happened to Surgeon Sparks? It's all the way down here. You know why? Because it's not modern anymore. It's vintage. Vintage is bad. Modern, good. Release, great. Prismatic bad. Prismatic, modern, bad. Vintage. No longer modern. Surgeon Sparks is vintage. That's why you don't hear people talk about Surgeon Sparks anymore. Am I being over dramatic? Yes, I am. Did Son of a Mewtwo donate 20 PK memberships? He did. Son of a Mewtwo, I do appreciate you, buddy. Donating 20 PK memberships. Son of a Mewtwo, you are a goated one. I appreciate you. But going back to what I'm saying, like, you got to position yourself, whatever your niche is, whatever you're doing in this hobby, wherever you're finding success, you have to take advantage of it right now. I do feel bad for some people in the sense that I think a lot of people are at the precipice. And like going back to the 1-year timeline, Journey Together, sure. Glory of the Team Rocket. The hobby's broken at that point, okay? It's broken. Whatever remnants of booms and busts and whatever rationalization, work your way through stuff. Glory of the Team Rocket blows that wide open. We don't know what cards are in Glory of the Team Rocket right now, but I'm just telling you, it doesn't matter. And that's just hard. It doesn't matter. They can just package up a fucking box of hot diarrhea and say, here you go. This is the glory of the Team Rocket, and they throw Team Rocket or Dark Pokemon or whatever, and people will eat that shit up right now. It'll be crazy. But that's probably not what Pokemon's going to do. They're just going to throw in amazing, fantastic, awesome, meta changing, hobby changing, groundbreaking, a set that people are probably going to talk about forever. That's right on the heels of, Journey Together. And sorry, Journey Together is very good. History of Pokemon, put Journey Together against a bunch of sets. Journey Together is a freaking good set. We've already seen some of the leaks. It's a solid set. It's not the best set that ever existed. It's coming off the heels of Prismatic Evolutions. Prismatic, the modern the better. Prismatic is the best set that ever existed. Right before Prismatic, before that was released, Surge and Sparks was the best set ever. The next set is the next set ever. Maybe Journey Together technically is the best set. But Team Rocket is the best set ever. And what's going to keep happening. But we're just running into this timeline now of banger, Surge and Sparks, banger, Prismatic Evolutions, banger enough with Journey Together, crazy banger, hype stream, sneaker dipper, flipper, extravanaire, hobby breaking, meta changing, Ken from Street Fighter, Balukin type shit, right? Like that's what Team Rocket is going to be. And then just nipping away, not too far away, is going to be the 30th anniversary. And think about the 20th anniversary, okay? 20th anniversary brought you Generations. 20th anniversary brought you in Japanese CP6, and then obviously in English Evolutions. That's the 20th anniversary. That's 2016 Pokemon Go, the beautifulness that is this hobby, right? 2016 got a lot of people in. Pokemon Go is a huge catalyst. The 20th anniversary, huge catalyst. 25th anniversary with where we were. Came off of the heels of one of the craziest hype boom cycles we've ever seen, and we had celebrations. Everyone talks about Prismatic. Oh my god, did you see the press release that Pokemon put out about Prismatic Evolutions? They're actually going to reprint this thing to the ground. We have the same exact paragraph sent out by Pokemon for celebrations, verbatim. You could just more or less remove the word Prismatic and just put the word celebration in and copy it, paste it right back into the release of celebrations, because it was exactly the same. We were in the same sort of boom time, and everybody went crazy about celebrations, and it wasn't a huge set. Celebrations is like 50 cards. You got the 25 main cards. I guess 25 out of 25 is the gold Mew, whatever. And then you got the other 25 classic collection cards. Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Pop Series 5, Umbreon. There's a bunch of cool cards in there. The Reshiram, Zekrom, the Domfan, the Cleffa from Neogen base. What else is in there? I don't know. Dark Gyarados. But, either way. Celebration. Fantastic set. Tons of good cards. Not a huge set. 50 cards, I just told you. 25 in the main set and then 25 in that classic collection. That's not a big set. 30th anniversary doesn't need to be a big set. Probably will end up being a big set. There's going to be so much hype and demand and FOMO that is involved in the 30th anniversary. We are in a timeline right now that we are booming. But you need to position yourselves to not just be successful in today, because I just told you earlier that everyone's playing checkers, and checkers is a very easy game. Start to play chess. What does that mean? So now it's like, okay, PK, you fucking ranted long enough. You ranted for 23 minutes and 47 seconds about nothingness. Well, what does that mean? How do I position myself? Start reaching out and making yourself contacts. Start spending money. Yeah, you don't like to hear that. Start spending money. To play with the big dogs right now and to position yourself in the future, you need to be spending money right now. And then when it comes time, once you're in the position phase, when it comes to the preparing for the crash, that's when you're going to start liquidating. That's when you're going to become super, super cash heavy. You don't want to be cash heavy right now. It's a turn and burn game right now. As long as the market is as liquid as it is, you need to just be capitalizing. And whether that means you're in the Rattle Discord and you're watching the bots, whether that means you're going on GameStop and you're watching every single slab that hits the GameStop and you're just spending a full time on the new GameStop slabothoner, is that a word? Sure. Marathoner, slabothoner, sprint races, sure. Throw a thoner at the end. We're a slabothoner. You're watching all the slabs. Or you're looking at eBay. You're doing huge graded plays right now. Have you guys looked at recent V prices? Not V maxes, not alt arts, V's. Shout out to I think it was Tap. Was it Tap? Did Tap send it to me? Yes, Tap. Shout out to Tap. Tap sent me a photo just today. I don't think I'm blowing up his spot. Gengar V from Fusion Strike. Regular V. $3.48 near mint on TCG Player. PSA 10 sales. February 4th, 75. February 2nd, 90. February 29th, $82. This $3 regular V. I just said Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike has a Gengar VMAX. Has the Espeon VMAX. Has a Celebi V. Hell, even has the Greedent. You could grade a V. You put it in 2 pieces of plastic. We're right back at it. $75. Not only is it $75 in a 10, it's $75 in a 10 of the days of everybody's grading. Everybody's doing, arbitrage plays. There's a lot of buyouts going on right now. There's a lot of cards hitting the market too. The amount of money that could be made is so crazy right now. You need to capitalize. You need to be positioned yourself. Get big positions and stuff. Start to be prepared that if you're not capitalizing now and going back to what I said, do your restocks, buying all that stuff. Get your slabs. Start doing the single graded play. Really position yourselves. Everybody out there should be at a very minimum, you should be doing 100 slabs a month. It's $1,500-$1,600 a month just in grading fees. You should be doing that minimum. Now, that is a minimum. Most people out there, you should be getting your numbers to 400 or 500. Some of you guys should be at 1,000 slabs, as long as the liquidity's there. For a while, it was the bigger dollar amount cards were good. We're back to the point where as long as you're a good pre-grader, turning and burning. And you know what the crazy thing is? A lot of these single plays, the singles are just keep going up. So even if you are getting field grading plays, the raw prices for a lot of these singles keep going up. It's crazy. We got cards going from 40 cents to $5. We got cards going from $5 to $15. Look at Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith has some of the easiest pulls of any set that has come out in the last 20 years. And look at all the Crown Zenith singles. Look at what a lot of those are doing. They keep ticking up, ticking up, ticking up. The hobby, there's a lot of liquidity out there right now. In fact, there's so much liquidity it almost feels fake. But that's okay for now, because you're positioning yourselves to capitalize on this. And then when the crash comes, you're not just going to be sitting on all this stuff. Does that make sense? Because when I'm telling you all these are plays, buying sealed product, flipping it, buying singles on GameStop, flipping it, buying singles on TCG Player, grading them, flipping it. It's not buy these singles, sit on them. It's turn it and burn. Start getting your capital to multiply really, really fast. Don't sit on the worst thing you can do is wait. Don't wait. Now is not the wait time. There was the wait time. The wait time has come and gone, and the wait time will probably come again. But right now, we're not in the wait time. We are just in the go, 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 now. So I just told you, you can do sealed product. You can buy already graded and make plays. You can buy singles. You can grade those yourself. Now, you need to start also starting to get into volume plays right now. Volume plays is you need to start finding people that you can start really, really maximizing how easy it is for you to sell stuff. Meaning, turning and burning. As fast as you can get it in, you can get that out. Meaning it's one phone call, it's one text message, it's one Instagram message, it's one Discord message. That's where you need to be. And you can do it, and you can say, I'll take only 5% instead of I need 40% or 50% or 60% to make this even work. You start to really ramp up that volume. and start to build contacts where when you have all this stuff, it's an easy, you have the input to you and then you output it to somebody else, and just keep building. You need to be snowballing right now. Imagine a little snowball, just a little teeny snowball rolling down a hill. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you are having trouble right now with capital, there's only one way you're going to grow that capital really fast, is it just, you just have to compound it. You have to just keep turning and burning. And sometimes in the market, in the hobby, the turning and burning is not possible. If you look at any Z&G auction block, you can just go back 2 months ago. Every single auction 2 months later is a buy. If you can capitalize the market, and you gotta just spend now. Spend, make your money. You should be turning and burning. You should be rolling over your inventory if you can. Smaller timelines for inventory rollovers. Sometimes some people have big outlets, a year, 90 days, 30 days. Shorten your timeline for your to roll over your inventory. If your old inventory isn't rolling over, it might be time where you really start to just think, is my money worth it anymore? Or does it just make sense for me to roll this over and start to move your money into things that actually are working, things that actually do make sense? Because the liquidity that exists in Pokemon is unmatched, unheard of, unprecedented in the history of this hobby. I've never seen it where things just sell. And you gotta position yourselves right now to capitalize on this market. And then I promise you, when the downturn comes, you will probably be one of the very, very first people to notice it. And one of the reasons you're going to be the first person to notice it is because you're going to be able to see the actual real numbers. You're going to see your sales start to decline, and you're going to have a really good finger on the pulse, and you're not going to be super, super over leveraged either. That's an important thing too, is while you're positioning yourself for the Pokemon investing crash, one of the things that you have to do in positioning yourself is start to deleverage yourself as time goes on, which I know is very counterintuitive because it was just spend. But you got to be spending, but also deleveraging yourself, because as you're selling, you're deleveraging yourself because you're not sitting on to as much of this product, and you're just finding stuff, and you're shortcutting that. You're very, very truncating that timeline of how long you're sitting on product. And the shorter that timeline becomes, the more liquid those items become, I promise you, you will actually be deleveraging yourself. Where you are going to find yourself over leveraged is doing the flipping, but on very illiquid items. I'm telling you, right now, deleverage yourself down. If you have stuff that's not selling, if you're struggling with certain stuff, it does not take a rocket scientist to see what's going on. Listen, there was a reason why Mr. Jim from Z&G Emporium, why he had an open market buy at one point for 92% of market to buy Umbreons, graded or raw. 92% of market buy price. That is a 92%. Those are fake. That's not real numbers. Think about that. That's 92% is your buy price. That's fake. That's not a real number, because you're lucky to get 90% at a convention. This dude is open market buying 92%, and it was, what's your limit? His limit was as many as he can get me at the time, because you just saw the market doing what the market was doing. But one of the things that Umbreon VMAX from Hoffman Skies has more going for it more than anything else is insta liquidity. Insta. You want to be lowest on the market, you will potentially, if you were lowest on the market for a Umbreon, and it sat lowest on the market for over 1 day. 1 day is 24 hours. That is one rotation of the freaking earth. That is not a long time. I'm not talking about one rotation around the sun. One just rotation of the earth, not around anything. Just, you go to bed, you wake up, I'm talking on the camera tomorrow at the same time. That's 1 day. If that thing sits on the eBay or sits on the market for a 1 day, that would be impossible. There is zero chance you don't have any sales of an Umbreon in a day. That is what I mean by insta liquidity. That's what you need to do. And you get to the instant liquidity, and you just will find out you are actually deleveraging yourself the whole way. Even though you are spending a ton of money, just turn it and burn, turn it and burn, turn it and burn. And then when the market comes, you're going to be in such a good position because you have now positioned yourself where now all the items you own are super liquid. When that market starts to crash, that's when we'll have a different conversation. I don't know when we're going to change the title and change it from position yourself for the Pokemon crash to preparing yourself for the Pokemon crash. I don't know when that video is going to come out. Maybe that video comes out in a year or 5 years or 10 years from now if I'm still making videos on YouTube. And God willing, I still will be making YouTube videos doing my same rants talking to the void, which is the nothingness of the sphere and the ethos that is YouTube. Hopefully YouTube is still a thing, and I think it will be, and hopefully I'm still a thing. Hopefully I haven't gone so crazy that I've eventually just been locked up and I am Clockwork Orange, or I am One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest and I'm talking to a giant Indian and maybe he's just going to smother me in my sleep with a pillow. I'm not going to say it won't happen, but I'm also not going to put it at 100% chance it's not going to happen. I'm leaning 50-50, coin toss. Might happen, might not happen, probably will happen. Maybe we'll go 75% that I get smothered in my bed by an Indian in a mental hospital. Probably more likely than not. But listen, as long as we're rocket ship emoji and on our way there, I think we'll be okay. That's where we're at right now. You need to be positioned yourself. I'm telling you. I gave you every play possible. Raw, buy already graded, resell graded. And you can, and then also arbitrage plays. Back at 9.5s. Back at 9.5s. Back at 9.5. Back at 9.5. Buy. Crack. PSA 10. That's it. I even gave you another play. Buy 9.5s, crack them, send them the 10s. Look at the scans before you buy them. Don't be a maniac. But most people are taking beatings on their 9.5s, and they're clean copies, and you know why they're not doing it? Because they're lazy, because they're just turning and burning. Probably you could ask most Beckett graders, what do you do with your 9.5s? And they're like, well, it would have been a 10 at PSA, but instead I went with Beckett. I tried to get the black label. I feel that the black label, so I'm just selling it as a 9.5. And it's like, well, why don't you just crack it and send it to PSA? And they're like, man, whatever. I'm just turning and burning this. And if you really like hammer down to a real true Beckett, I mean, there's the Beckett actual graders. They're very few and far between, because if you look at the actual amount of cards that are being graded at Beckett, are very few and far between. It's not as many people as you think. But when you really, really poke, like, if you're talking to a Beckett grader and you're actually like poking them in the chest and you're just going really, really poking them, and you're just like, why don't you just crack your own 9.5s? Why do you keep selling them? I think if you really, really were able to just poke them in the chest enough until your finger hurt and their chest hurt, you would finally get to the answer of there is no answer. I think that's the answer. They really, really don't know why they don't crack and just send the PSA, because I think they just get so defeated by their 9.5s. Or maybe they're just worried about their time. But there's plays there. I give you another play too. That's arbitrage play. You can do single route too. Singles are going hot too. You can buy up. You can do buyouts right now. It doesn't take a lot of money. TCG play. You can buy out a lot of cards. You can go cross-platform arbitrage. Macari is a thing. A lot of people don't like to use that word. There's a lot of Japanese arbitrage plays. You can actually pick up Japanese sealed product from certain people that have much lower prices and do price arbitrage plays by picking up Japanese product, for the cheap, and you can make a couple bucks on eBay. You got to that's going to be a little tougher for you because you are going to have a little bit more competition, but you have cross-platform arbitrage plays. You can buy on PWCC to sell on eBay. You can buy some cards on eBay that sell really good on Fanatics. Sorry, PWCC doesn't exist. Fanatics Collect. You can do that. There's so many middlemen right now that take away all worries. You got your Mr. Jims from Z and J Emporium. You got Dan Catch 'em All Collectibles. You got these guys. You send it to Dan's Vault, sell it. You send it to James, sell it. Why would you do that? They don't send you 1099s. Well, why should that matter? Well, it doesn't matter. Everyone pays their taxes. I've never personally come across anybody in this hobby who doesn't pay their taxes. I pay my taxes. We got 171 people real time listening to me yell at my wall, and all 171 of those people always pay their taxes. So I don't know why it would be beneficial for Jim not to send you a 1099 or Dan through Fanatics Collect. But like, just say hypothetically, you don't like paperwork, you just like to do your own accounting. It's that much easier. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving pieces in the hobby. Bye, you know, like the Puppet Master from NSYNC. Ding, 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 bye. That's we could all be the Puppet Masters, just singing bye. We're in a moment. Position yourself. Start to position yourself. Do not pull back right now. Do not take your foot off the gas pedal. I'm telling you, if you put yourself in a good spot now, when the market downturn comes, you will be ready. You will be prepared for it so much better. And then when it comes time for preparing, then it's going to be all about liquidity. Because when everybody is panic selling on the way down, you're going to have been so liquid up to that point with your plays that you're going to be able to dump everything right when you see changes in the market. You're going to be able to dump everything instantly, and then you're going to be so heavily flushed on cash that everybody who is now panic selling because they were not positioning themselves all this time, so they aren't going to be prepared for the downturn. You'll have everything going for you, and you'll have a ton of cash, and you just buy. That's it. That's when you get to use the G word. You get to be greedy. You just get to gobble up all this product, and then you'll just go to the acquisition phase. Just like we were in the acquisition phase when we had $80 booster boxes and super cheap slabs and low alt-arts where all the alt-arts were crashing and everything was going to hell, and Scarlet and Violet was dead and Sword and Shield wasn't moving. Shout out to, I don't know how many times I'm not going to take all the credit. This is one of the few times in the history of this hobby where I feel like everybody was just in agreement when it was Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin were available on Pokemon Center. How many weeks in a row did I come on and say, and people were like, what should we be buying right now? It's like Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin. There was a period of time where Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin were just available on Pokemon Center. And I would wake up every single day for weeks, and I would look on Pokemon Center. It would be like almost the first thing I did. I'd get out of bed, brush my teeth, and I'd look at Pokemon Center and be like, oh my goodness. Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin are still available on Pokemon Center. How is this possible? And I would just buy as much as I could, and then I kept buying as much as I couldn't, and I just kept buying. And I would go on a live, and I'd tell everybody, I'd be like, listen, Brilliant Stars, Lost Origin, still available on Pokemon Center, and everyone else and their mother was saying the same thing. And then it was almost, we were literally saying the words, is this too no-brainer of a play? And I hate the word no-brainer. Or is this too obvious of a play? Those words, those are dangerous words. Is this too obvious? And everybody, we were asking ourselves, we were in the live going, is this just too obvious? Is Lost Origin still available on Pokemon Center? And it wasn't a question really for most people of if this thing is going to go up. It was just like when. Just when. Like, when is it going to go out of stock? And it was instant. And we saw that happen. And we kept seeing it happen. We saw it happen with Fusion Strike and Chill and Rain and Lost Origin and Brilliant Stars. And look at any of those booster boxes right now. And this isn't even like we were all big brain in it. No, we were just at that point, we were playing checkers. Fuck chess at that point. We were just looking at Pokemon Center and saying, and we were looking, I remember pulling up on lives and looking at Brilliant Stars at 143. And on TCG Player on the same day, they were selling for 180. On the same day, not on different days, not on different months, not on different years. On the same day, it was 143 on Pokemon Center and 180 on TCG Player. And it's just like, this is it. Just wait for this thing to go out of stock. And the same thing with Lost Origin. Then the conversation was, and it was the biggest cop-out that I could do. People would be like, which one should I buy? And my answer was both. I don't know the answer of which one's going to do better. Obviously, Captain Hindsight, come flying in. Now we all know which one would have been better. But at the time, the answer was just buy both. Because we were getting ready. Everything was primed. The boom was about to happen. I think we knew something was going to happen. I feel like we had a sense. I feel like if on my channel, we definitely had a sense. People in the chat, the way people were talking, things were growing. We had a sense, but it just almost, we were all kind of standing there looking around. And I think we were all nervous, or maybe we were scared, or maybe we were just confused. I think we were all looking around as if we were all standing in a room just looking at each other like, guys, is it this obvious? And I think we were all kind of looking at each other like eye to eye and going, I think it's this obvious. And we were all like, I think we were just questioning ourselves, like, it can't be this obvious. It just can't be, right? I think everybody was just kind of like, some people were standing there with their arms, and we were all like, no, PK, I think it's this obvious. And it's like, shit, what do we do today? It's like, let's buy another case. It's like, okay, let's buy another case. I couldn't afford the last case or the case before. Let's just max out the credit card. Let's get another credit card. Let's put it on a 0 interest, 18 months. Maybe this will work. Holy shit, did it work? Did it work? Did it work? And it was just, we were all standing there going, it's this obvious. I have text messages from Rusty, TCA Cayman, Rusty, saying, PK, I'm with you on Brilliant Stars. I think it's a great set. Even Rusty was talking about it. He's like, I listened to a PK live and I called up my distribution and I bought a bunch more Brilliant Stars and a bunch more Lost Origin. There's videos of Rusty saying that. Even Rusty, when Rusty's doing it, then it's like, when you're standing in the room and everybody's talking, saying it's this obvious, maybe everyone doesn't listen to everybody, but when Rusty talks, then everybody stops and they listen. And then when Rusty says, okay, maybe this is that obvious, that's what's going to happen in the future, where you just will position yourself, but we're not there right now. We're booming. But you got to position yourself for the now. And I'm telling you, when things do eventually downturn, and I do not know when it's going to be, you need to be there. I'm telling you where I want to be. Okay? This is where I want to be, where I'm trying to. And it's, are you actually doing what you're saying? Because it's one thing to say you're doing something, but do you have actual metrics? Can you show it? I quit my job for Pokemon, and I will do whatever it takes, even if it kills me. I will position myself to be in a position that when the market crashes, it doesn't affect me. It will affect me a little bit, but my plan is I want to be the #1 streamer on Fanatics Live. And if that means streaming 7 nights a week, I'll stream 7 nights a week. If that means streaming 7 days a week during the day, so no one else could be the #1, I will do that. If it means that I have to do whatever it takes, I want people to come on, and they're going to be afraid to come onto that platform because they're not going to want to compete with us. They're going to see our numbers, they're going to see our viewers, and they're not even going to want to compete, and they're going to see the items we put up, they're going to see our prices, they're going to see our burn-through rate, they're going to see our streamers, they're going to see our attitudes, they're going to see our followers, they're going to see our viewers, they're going to see what we're doing, what they can't do. They're going to see our liquidity versus their liquidity. And I don't think people out there truly understand why that truly matters. Liquidity does matter. And when things start to turn, we will have already positioned ourselves to be ready for that. So even when things start to turn down, we'll be able to push out anyone else, push out any of the competition. Is that cutthroat? Yes. Do I care? No. Is it where I want to be? Yes, it's where I want to be. It's all about position right now. And like I said, we're in the positioning phase. This could be months to years. I just told you earlier in the stream, it could be a year, it could be 5 years, we get in a 10-year boom. I don't know where it is. You can see it's like what do your actions say? My actions say I'm hoping 5 years. I'm hoping 5 years. Now, are we going to be booming, scalping Walmart and Target for the next 5 years? Probably not. But are we going to be booming? I think so. Even looking back on, cheap booster boxes and stuff, it's like if you did, even when things were shitty and you had $80 Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet based booster boxes and Obsidian Flames and all these sets, and when things were super illiquid and everything wasn't really doing good, if you did position yourself good at that time and you had maximum liquidity, it probably didn't affect you that much. It's all about positioning right now. This is what you all need to be doing right now. If you take anything from this video, one of the things I talked about that I didn't do, but I know with 100% fact, and this is not a cap in any sense of the imagination, I made videos telling people when everything was going low, I said, if I were you, I would be going out and getting distribution right now, because you will thank yourself for getting distribution now. And I said, I bet you now is a good time to do it as an online store. And sure as shit, and that's why I said this is a 100% fact, there was people in the chat saying, PK, I went out and got distribution because you told me now was a good time to get distribution, and they might be taking new clients and online clients. And there were people, and I mean that with a 100% factual statement based off of the chat, that they went and they got distribution because I recommended it to them. Now, I made the mistake even though I was saying it, I wasn't doing it. And I should have been doing it. And I knew at the time, even though I was talking it, but I was talking the talk when it came to that, but I wasn't walking the walk. Now, I feel I am very much walking the walk. I am all in. This is it. The Grandma's Basement. There is no other. This is it. It's Pokemon or bust. We booming, we busting, rockets exploding. The rocket hopefully doesn't explode mid-flight. That's it. That's where we are. But, all right. That's where we're at. That was my PK beginning rant. We only made it 52 minutes in with me talking for 52 minutes straight. Did I even take a sip of water in 52 minutes? I'm dehydrated. All right, let's go up. This is the point of the chat where we go back, we look at what everybody's commenting, and we appreciate all you got. We go, Jimmy Blake, Namp90, Namp, good to see you. There he is. There's Tap. Sorry, Tap, if I blew up your play, but I don't think it was a blown up play if you were sharing it with me. I think you were trying to just bring attention to how crazy everything is going. Map Mother says, what goes up will always come down. Yeah, eventually. When? Position yourself so liquidity. Position yourself so when it does come down, you can sell. That will be what a lot of people will not understand. When the market drops, if you are positioned to sell, you will be fine. If you have liquid items, if you have illiquid items, you will crash and you will burn when it comes. But if you have the super liquid items, you're going to catch it right away. You're going to be so actively engaged in the market, you will see it instantly. You will instantly be able to identify it. Going back, we identified on a lot of stuff. Prismatic Evolutions right now, a lot of people, you can't sit on it at $120 as an investment. We got a lot of Prismatic coming out in the near term. We got Prismatic UPCs coming out. You're going to have that other EV promo, 15 packs of Prismatic in May. February, March, April, May. And then in September, we have the Prismatic Umbreon and Espeon special collection boxes. We're way too far away. I'm going to throw out two hypotheticals. One, we get brand new promos. We got a very cool special collection box with Espeon and Eevee. Crazy doom scenario is we get the SIRs in those collection boxes. Now, is that possible? It's possible. We've definitely seen hit cards being in sets before. The Pikachu and Zekrom, those Legendary League battle deck. I have what the decks look like. Hold on, I don't even know. mind. I don't know. I don't know where I have shit. But whatever. It's like, there was like the Charizard and there was Pikachu and Zekrom. They were like special collection boxes. And then there was the Charizard and Reshiram. And the Charizard and Reshiram had 3 Charizard promo. It had the 1 Cosmic Eclipse and 2 Unbroken Bonds, or the 2 Cosmic Eclipse, 1 Unbroken Bonds. But they were the normal cards from the set. Like, there is no way to identify those cards as being different. It's possible. Like, we've definitely seen set cards get released in specialty products. Now, can an Umbreon SIR and a Umbreon and Espeon SIR get released in a special collection box? Would that be Pokemon's way of being the biggest FU? God, I shudder at that thought. I think probably more likely than not is probably going to be what we saw with like the Obsidian Flames Charizard. You got the two Black Star promos. You got Black Star the Scarlet and Violet Black Star promo 72, 74, Black Star promo 72 or 74, and then Black Star promo number 56. The ones that came from the Paldean tins, and then that Charizard EX Premium Collection box thingy. They look exactly the same, but a little bit different. At least different enough from Obsidian Flames to be unique. I don't even fucking have one of them next to me. But, you know, one of the things that we were lacking with UPCs recently was good promos. When you have a UPC with a good promo stonk. Charizard UPC, 3 great promos in it. The Sleepy Charizard, the Charizard V-Star fighting the Mew, and then the Godzilla Charizard VMAX. 3 good promos. That thing went crazy. Eventually it got reprinted and prices went down and we were flooded, but now look at those promos single. Look at that Charizard UPC, it went up. 151 UPC, great promos. That Mew promo, that Mewtwo promo, the Gold Mew, awesome. Celebrations, the reprint Metal Charizard, the Metal reprint Pikachu, the UPC exclusive like Full Art Gold Pikachu, the Full Art Gold Pokeball, huge. UPCs, when they have shitty promos, you're talking Tirapagos or the Greninja one, where the Greninja one is the biggest failure of a UPC ever. We saw that Greninja in the Shrouded Fable box. That Greninja should have been in the Greninja UPC. Why they didn't do that, I get it. They wanted to put the Kingdra and the Greninja because they had very similar art styles for the Shrouded Fable special collection boxes. But man, that Greninja never should have been in that box. That Greninja should have been in the Greninja UPC. And that Greninja UPC would be super sought after. That single price would be way more money. And it would be way more in demand. That was a huge, huge failure on the behalf of Pokemon to just put a regular half-art Greninja that looks exactly... Maybe it's exactly the same. Is it the same Greninja from Twilight Masquerade? I know it looks exactly the same. But that's a huge failure. And then the Tirapagos box. I mean, I guess you got the Rillaboom and stuff. But not the Rillaboom. The Cinderace. No, not Rillaboom. Cinderace. But yeah, mediocre product, but man, that Greninja special collection, or UPC could have been a banger. What a missed opportunity. But now fast forward to Prismatic. You got the Eevee SIR in there. So if you guys know, not Prismatic Evolutions, Terrestrial Festival, the Japanese version of Prismatic, it had the 2 Eevee SIRs in there. And then you had like the full art Eevee SIR, and then you had the Eevee SIR where it's sitting on like, it's got food platters. The art design was by some famous Japanese chef, but that's going to be the promo that's going to be in our English UPC, and it's going to go crazy. People are going to want that thing. You're going to have first of all, the UPC has 15 packs of Prismatic Evolutions in it. Already crazy. Plus, you're going to have a promo that's going to be super in demand. And then eventually, you're going to have a lot of those promos hit the market, and we'll see what happens. Like, that's going to be a good litmus test of how strong the market is. Does that promo just continue to have strong secondary selling prices, or does it crash and burn? We booming. There's a lot to think on. There's a lot to process. Just like that's just one play. It's just thinking through stuff. It's like, what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? And a lot of just the hobby, a lot of just position yourself is looking at all these little plays and trying to understand. It's like, okay, in May, we got the UPCs coming out for Prismatic. In September, we got this Umbreon, Espeon, Premium Collection Box. What are those promos going to be? You got an Umbreon and Espeon. Let's just say it's not a reprint because that's probably unlikely, but let's just say it's cool Umbreon and Espeon artwork. Like, you get a good promo, not just some shitty half art garbage. You get a really good, you get a Kingdra EX Greninja quality type promo like you got in the Shrouded Fable, but you get those type of promos in a Prismatic product, and their two lead characters is Umbreon and Espeon, but you get that quality type exclusive promo to that. Very similar to what we saw with the Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon premium collection boxes we saw for like during the Evolving Skies. Like, obviously those alt arts are not part of Evolving Skies, but they like kind of feel like they are, but they were part of their own premium collection box. If we get that sort of release, but with an Umbreon and Espeon in September of this year, right after like Team Rocket and stuff, it's the hobby is already will be broken at that point. There will be a janitor with a little broom and a little dustpan. He's going to be picking up the pieces, and he's just going to be scooping them, and he's going to be dumping that dustpan right into the trash, because that's going to be what's left. The hobby's already in shambles. We're already shattered. The whole print run thing, the whole we're going to print the max capability, like Shrouded Fable, there will not be enough. Or it's not I want to talk about not Shrouded Fable. Journey Together, there won't be enough. Journey to Team Rocket, there won't be enough. Prismatic, it just doesn't sit on the shelf. We boom it. And now we're starting to see, Crimson Invasion S-type, Steam Siege S-type runs on products like Shrouded Fable. I went to go price Shrouded Fable the other day, and I'm looking right here. I got my spreadsheet right to the right of me for my calculations, and I was running 4 Shrouded Fable packs, ship seal for $20. That was like one of our $20 options. I go, look, $7 per pack? It's like, wait, whoa, what? Excuse me, timeout. Pump the brakes. Shrouded Fable is now more expensive than Stellar Crown, Temporal Forces, Paradox Rift, Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved, Scarlet Violet Base. It's real close to Crown Zenith right now. More expensive than Silver Tempest. More expensive than Pokemon Go. More expensive than Astral Radiance. Shrouded Fable? What's in Shrouded Fable? Oh, the Persian? What else? It's like, we boom it. You know what happens? Is you get like that Crimson Invasion S Steam Siege where people just start scooping up whatever the cheapest thing is, start to make their play. You want to know what just came in the mail? Come up. This came in the mail 2 days ago. This 2 days ago. This came in the mail. We all booming. Shrouded Fable, Pokemon Center, Elite Trainer boxes. Obviously, those are already there. They came yesterday, the day before. It's like, alright, we're gonna do it. I did it before everyone else was doing it. Like, it was already starting. People were making jokes about it, and it's like, the writing's on the wall. I don't want to be a participant in said product, but I will be a participant in said product when the writing is just on the wall. And it's just like, why? It's like, well, why not? What's worst case scenario? That's a problem too. It's like, well, what's worst case scenario right now? It's just like, you break even on PokemonCenter.com product. It's like, fine. Position myself there. Position myself everywhere. Who cares? Just remember, Federal Reserve just prints money. Pokemon prints money. Money's cheap. Money's free right now. Just, now's your time. Position. Liquidity. Go. Don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. If you got available hours, if you got available time, now's the time. Like, you could sleep tomorrow. There's always time for sleep. I'm tired all the time. It's fine. You can be tired. You're going to have to give up your time. You're going to have to donate that very, very valuable resource. But, man, it's worth it. I'm telling you right now, it's worth it. I'm finding it's worth it. I think the problem is, too, we just finally, everything starts to pay off. All the hard work. payoff. You gotta believe. You gotta believe in what you're doing. You gotta believe in the hobby. You gotta believe in everything. Because, man, how many hours am I just on this live? How many hours exist on this YouTube channel where I'm just talking and there was comments from people like, you know what, I don't watch PK anymore because he's just too bullish on the hobby all the time. Like, all PK does is talk about like how good everything is and how all this stuff. And it's like, when I was saying stuff like that, people were getting mad at me. Like, we weren't here. We weren't where we are today. Let's see. Jimmy Blake said, not sure if you heard it, but the Pokemon EU Championships is this month. You had to book a place for the shop and site. Didn't work well, so many have tickets to the event but can't use the shop. That I did not know. Kevin said, remember when Fusion Strike was $75 a booster box? I do. I remember when as I walked through the valley, the $79.95 booster box, I fear no evil. Alex in Silverland said, yo, Outsiders, Yoda best. Let's go. Son of a Mewtwo. Appreciate you. Son of a Mewtwo. Kevin Clare says, Crash of Modern. Modernist gets RIP'd first. It's not... There's only one modern set from now until forever. Once Journey Together comes out, Prismatic Evolutions vintage. There's no such thing as modern anymore. It's the shinier, the better. Get it. Get it all. You know, there was recently like when was it? Oh, God, I could look at my orders, but they just had on WalmartCenter.com Journey Together booster bundles dropped. Order limit of 12. And it was, in my head, I was like, should I order these? And it was just like, yeah. Turn your brain off. You're still playing chess, PK. It's checkers time. I already said that earlier. Well, stop playing chess. Turn your brain off. Play checkers. Double jump. Like, oh, okay. How many we buy? As much as I can until they run out. Just buy. Send them over to Dan, too. I was like, here you go, Dan. You can get up to 12. Just buy as many. And, you know, I think by the time I sent it to Dan, they already sold out. They weren't up for long. But it's like, turn your brain off. It's like, because Journey Together will be the moderner set. And then same thing with Team Rocket. Just forget about it. Whatever worries you have, whatever concerns you have, throw it out the window. You know, just like Prismatic. It's like remember when it was like, should I buy pre-orders at $60? Should I buy pre-orders at $75? Remember I came on, I talked about Hills Wholesale Gaming. Hills Wholesale Gaming had pre-orders at $85 and I passed. I didn't turn my brain off enough. I was still my brain was still on. I was still trying to play chess. I should have been playing checkers. And what was I thinking? Skipping on Hills at $85, and I could have picked up cases upon cases, and I was just so worried about my fucking rook, and I should have been worried about a checkers piece. I don't know why I did that, but my brain was on. I had to turn my brain off. Turn your brain off. Position yourself. Position yourself now, and you know why? Because the moderner the better. The moderner is the liquid stuff. Prismatic, the reason why I'm kicking myself about Prismatic is because it's liquid. I could have picked up all those ETBs at 85, and there is people with open buy orders at 100 per ETB at release. Just open. At $15 per ETB. Could have just did. Yeah. But it's like, okay, well, if you're only doing it one time, it's like, well, it doesn't matter. And that's why it goes back to the volume. Volume. We are in the volume play right now. You got to be positioning yourself. You got to be volume, and you got to be willing to turn and burn, which I got to get better at that, even myself. Just like, all right, this is it. Turn and burn. Let's do it. We booming. All right. We booming. Alice says, my son pulled the Pikachu from McDonald's today. He was watching me type this and says, hi. Shout out to Alice and Silverland's son. Sorry for my bad language. Let's see. You know, we could always box out the other scalpers. Matt says, if old school Pokemon is watching, just know I appreciate the Team Rocket return slots on buy-in/bought. I can't wait to crack them and put them in his master set. Very nice. Do love myself some Team Rocket returns. Team Rocket does have great reverse holos. Love dark Pokemon. I love the slept on Team Rocket Returns hollows. Obviously the gold stars, but even the box topper with the Charmeleon. Very cool. Kevin Clare says, you want people to live on Mars in 2024 or 2040? Sheesh, we're already on Mars. Jimbo Slice says, play Chutes and Ladders when everyone else is playing Sorry. There you go. Kevin Clare says, make big plays, buy playtester cards. Exactly. Next up, we got the old Son of a Mewtwo. I got to the point where he gifted all the memberships. Son of a Mewtwo. I don't know why you are so unkind to me, but I do appreciate it. I think somebody even said eggs are sold out. No, why did it jump to the bottom? Oh, we good. We good. We still booming. So, Feller Chris says, Feller Chris says, what doesn't make sense is the new sets coming out with $10 and up prices for packs. Yeah, I mean, Feller, that's the market dictates price. That's it is what it is, man. That's the market dictating price. And, you know, as I've streamed more, I've started to understand more too. I understand now why people pay what they pay. It's because people value their time maybe differently than you do. You know, when you can't pick up packs at Target or Walmart, some people don't have the time to go to Walmart and said Target and wait for the restocker. They don't have the time. They have jobs, they have lives, they make good money, and they can't even get it online because when they go to buy it online, it's already sold out. So they're willing to pay the premium because they can. That's a big thing right now, and I've took me a long time to realize that, and streaming has opened up my eyes. It's like, why are they doing it? Because they can, because they value their time. You know, there's a lot of people out there who make good money, and their time is valued at greater than $100 an hour. Some people $200 an hour that they value their time at. And it's like, okay, when you value your time at $100 or $200 an hour, and you live in a small town, and it's 10 minutes to the local Target, you know, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes back, that's 20 minutes. And when you get there, there's no product on the shelves anyways. So now you just spent 20 minutes in the car. So now you just wasted 20 minutes of your time, and you value your time at $100 an hour. You value your time at $200 an hour because you're a doctor or an orthopedic surgeon or a chiropractor or a lawyer or a brain surgeon or whatever, so that you value your time a little bit differently. So now at $100 an hour, it just costs you $20 to drive to and from Target. At $200 an hour, it just costs you $40 to drive to and from Target. For what? To get nothing? To come back empty-handed? So then it's like, well, is there a way I could just, instead of wasting my time in the car, can I sit at the comfort of my own couch, comfort of my own house, pay that same $20, pay that same extra $40 surcharge, and I could just get my packs right now. And I could just move on with my day. And I don't have to join the Rattle Discord. And I don't have to put on all the bot notifications. And I don't have to mother F the world when I go to checkout on Target or I go to checkout on GameStop. And I have to get flagged on PokemonCenter.com as being a bot because all I did was I hit the back button one time too fast and it thinks you're a bot. Like, if you value your time at a certain dollar amount, you got to ask yourself the question. It's just like, is it worth it? So when Feller says it doesn't make sense, I was always at that. It doesn't make sense, but now I get it. Now I understand why. And it's because some people just value their time differently. Now, if they could go into their local Walmarts or Targets, and it's like, well, maybe they would. Maybe they would buy a bunch of packs. But then it's like, and I'm learning this, it's like, who are we to tell people how to spend their money, how to value their time? Like, should we be able to say, like, don't spend an extra couple bucks on a pack because you need to now go do all the things I just told you? Here's GameStop.com. Here's BestBuy.com. Here's Walmart. Here's Target. Here's all the Prismatic listings that exist. Make a master spreadsheet. Open up multiple tabs on your desktop. Continuously refresh, check these. Have the Rattle Discord on, and the second that these notifications pop up on all these links, drop everything you are doing in a moment and hop onto one of these websites and buy it at MSRP. People are going to look at you like you're smoking the finest of dust. Shout out to the Spicy Boys TV. So I'm learning, you know, and it's changes the way I have. It does change my perception on a lot of stuff. So Pokemon Finance Guy says, I'm going to throw some sets at you and you tell me if they were hyped up and when they were coming out. So he said, Shrouded Fable, not hyped. Stellar Crown, not hyped. Twilight Masquerade, super hyped. Paldea Evolved, some people were hyping up. Twilight Masquerade, you're looking at it. I hyped up Twilight Masquerade every single chance I got. For months, I'd go on Hills Wholesale Gaming. We haven't done it in a while. We'd go on Hills Wholesale Gaming, and I would do a heat check. And I started my heat check. Hills Wholesale. I would do a heat check. Twilight Masquerade. Every single live. For months. I would go on Hills. And we'd do a heat check. And it started when Twilight Masquerade was $5.95 a case on Hills Wholesale Gaming. And every time I'd say, guys, I like Twilight Masquerade at $5.95 a case. I don't know why. I really like it. And then it went up to $6.10 a case. And I said, guys, I really like it at $6.10 a case. Then it was $6.40. I liked it at $6.40. I liked it at $700. And I continued to like it. So yes, to tell you the answer, Twilight Masquerade was super hyped. Do they even have... I don't even see... we're at Sword and Shield. We need Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet. Twilight Masquerade. Booster box case. $1,050. That is our hype. That is our heat check right there. We are booming. $1,050. So yes, to answer your question, there was one guy. He went by the name PK. To answer your question, Pokemon Finance Guy. Yes. Yes, indeed. Gengar says, I think the problem with Surgeon is that it's already running away. Well, we're going to see reprints of Surgeon, so we're going to get a good litness test on the market. Like, how can the market handle reprints? Prices are going to drop. The problem is we're getting a vintage reprint with Surgeon, so I don't know. Kevin says, how is Surging better than Evolving? Did I say that? If I did, I might have misspoke. I talk in a lot. Michael says, I'm so worried for Rocket. I'm probably not getting it, even with being in Rattle Discord. I work. I can't sit all day. I try to check when I can. I've yet to get anything from the notifications yet. It's tough. Raph says, Sneaker Dipper. Laugh my ass off, yeah. Pokemon Finance Guy said, all the sets weren't hyped up when they were coming out. A lot of people hated those sets. No. I love Twilight Masquerade. I'll give you the other sets. But Pokemon Finance Guy, I talked about Twilight Masquerade. And anybody in the chat who is a fan of this channel will tell you. I pulled up Twilight Masquerade every single week. And I literally have comments on my videos saying, PK, why do you like Twilight Masquerade so much? Because it was a good set. And it's great. Got great sell-through rate, too. Pokemon Finance Guy said, Surgeon also hasn't had their reprint yet. You know, it's coming out soon. But we'll see. It'll be a good test. I'm waiting for all these reprints. I'm waiting for these litness tests. You know, if a reprint can't knock Surgeon down to below 150, game over. Game over. If it can't knock it below 150. Like, forget about it. If a reprint can't knock Surgeon below 150, there is nothing stopping this hobby. Because to have a massive reprint and to have, you know, prices be at 150, like, I think people will see how big of a correction 150 is, and they'd be like, oh no, PK, that is a huge crash. No, that's not a crash. 150 at a reprint, that is, people that have distribution, that's 50% they're making on a product. You know, buying in 92, $93 a booster box right now. Some people probably have, I don't know if people really still have the 88, 89, but maybe a couple of the bigger accounts do, but still. Call it 92 a box. After, shipping and fees, that puts you right at like 105, 150. That's $45 per booster box. Like, if the hobby's so strong that you can't knock it below 150, forget about it. Game's over. Nothing will touch this stuff. It will just... And then what are they going to do? Go back and reprint Surgeon again? Well, what about Prismatic? What about Journey Together? What about Team Rocket? What about whatever the newest hype is? Whatever the newest modern thing is? What about that? What about Twilight? What do you do? Where's all the reprints coming? Temple Force is starting to creep up. Shroud of Fable is starting to creep up. No, you're going to reprint Shroud of Fable? No? Well, are you going to start knocking down the prices of Shrouded? Temporal Forces is about to start going. Paradox Rift already started to get legs. Crown Zenith, meh. Paldea Evolved, though. Paldea Evolved probably still needs a reprint with that Magikarp chase. Obsidian Flames doesn't probably need a reprint. But Temple Forces still has legs. It's like Temple Forces is not crazy cheap. But what are you going to do? It's like you're going to go back reprint all these. What do you do with... while you're reprinting all of it, it's like, what do you do with the Journey Together stuff? What do you do with the Prismatic? What are you going to do with Team Rocket? Are you not printing these to reprint this other stuff? I don't know. I mean, Pokemon printers are already printing one... oh, God, we didn't even talk about 151. We got the Bloom and Waters coming out. They haven't done anything to the market. Bloom and Waters haven't done shit. You remember 151 Mew UPCs sitting on samsclub.com for $80 and nobody wanted them? Remember? Do you remember Mew UPCs 151? Nobody wanted it? And now we got a huge reprint coming out with all these Bloom and Water boxes. And we have literally people doing MMA matches in the middle of the aisle at Costco. And people are having to call in cops and have security lines and do limit orders of 2. And you got GameStops changing their, in-store quantity limit orders. And you got... It's like, okay, GameStop's going to get the Bloom. It's like, where's my $80 Mew UPCs? You guys told me the reprint was going to crush 151. Give me back my Mew 151 UPC $80. Like, give them back. You told me that Bloom and Waters was going to kill 151. I watched somebody get punched in the face. You told me $80 Mew UPCs are coming back. That's what I heard because you told me it's going to crash. I saw the crash of 151. I saw $80 UPCs. All I saw is somebody get punched and elbowed in the face. So how's the reprints doing for that? Not looking good. Do I got to wait? Got to wait for GameStop? I saw a line outside GameStop that wrapped around an entire mini mall complex. People standing in line at GameStop. I saw another one where people were waiting in line in the mall. And there was a huge line for GameStop. Give me my reprints. Give me my $80 Mew. You told me that the reprints were going to crush it. So, where is it? Give it to me. We booming. Make no mistake about it. We booming. Okay? What about all this Sword and Shield stuff? You need to be buying Sword and Shield. I said it a while back. I said one of the best plays was to do single packs. Because there was a lot of single pack plays. Single packs are real cheap. Single packs are one of the most liquid things. You want something that's liquid? Might as well just replace the word single packs with the word water. Water and single packs are the same thing. Everybody wants single packs. If you get single packs cheap, get them. Turn and burn those babies. Make yourself a quarter per pack. Make yourself 50 cents per pack. Volume. Make yourself 20 cents a pack. Who cares? You ship enough packs, you get your shipping down to around 3 to 4 cents per pack. That's not cap, that's a real thing. Go get yourself a nice, large box UPS. 3 to 4 cents per pack it's going to cost you to ship it. So if you can make 20 cents per pack, that's 16 cents after shipping. If you can make 25 cents, that's 21 cents per pack. If you can get your hands on a couple thousand packs, that's big money. turn and burn in packs. Pack arbitrage. There's a lot of places you could do pack arbitrage. We saw what happened with Crown Zenith Sea and Sky boxes. 151 Blooming Waters. That's another play you can do. You don't even have to buy the product yourself. You can just buy the product as long as there's margin, as long as you're getting it cheap. It's a greater fool theory, right? That's what I'm describing as a greater fool theory. Is you're always going to find somebody to pay more than you paid. Greater fool theory has a bad sound to it because it's got the word fool in it, and so the way the greater fool theory is, there's always a buyer. There's always somebody willing to pay more until eventually there's not, and then you get caught holding the bag. Give me an example of that in this hobby. The problem is we are spoiled beyond all measurable metrics of what spoiled actually looks like in this hobby. Like, we are spoiled. This hobby is the ghost, this hobby is the goose that just keeps laying the golden egg. I've already said it too. Like, there's the old parable where the goose that lays the golden egg, and every day they can wait for one day to go by and they'll get a golden egg. And it's this goose that keeps laying the golden eggs until somebody eventually has the bright idea. They're like, hey, if we cut open the goose, we can get all the golden eggs out. Well, they cut open the goose, and there's no golden eggs inside of it. And then that goose is dead because they just cut it open. So now the goose doesn't lay the golden eggs anymore. Like, are we getting to the point where you just got your little razor blade out and you're gonna cut that goose and you're gonna try to get your golden eggs out? Like, Chase says, can't even imagine how frustrating Rocket's gonna be. Got my JT by the skin of my teeth, and it's nowhere near what Rocket will be. Yeah. Pokey Paris says, can't outprint the scalpers. People are waiting at GameStop overnight for Blooming Waters. There we go. Literally, it's not that I'm saying anything. None of the things that I'm saying are original thought. Literally, people in the chat are just saying, and this is going back, was typed a long time ago, but it's just everybody's brains are in the same spot right now. Michael said, printed into the ground. Watching MJ do a restock at Walmart yesterday. They had 10 tins of Prismatic. First guy grabbed them all, and that was all she said. Don't expect any Prismatic soon. Yeah. Let's see. PokeKid said, PK, quit blowing up my plays. Thanks, Tap. Oh, sorry, PokeKid. Pokemon Finance Guy says, people have to stop buying from scalpers, period. You'll have to stop blaming investors. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. There's just too much demand. The demand is driving this hobby right now, and I don't know what it takes. In 2020, 2021, I knew what it would take for the hobby to die down, and what I knew it was going to take was, one, Pokemon to ramp up printers, because the problem was, coming out of 2020, Pokemon was lagging because COVID shut down the printers. Like, it was a Black Swan event. We look for Black Swan events. We had one. March of 2020, non-essential businesses shut down. No offense. Millennium Print Group, not really an essential business. To print Pokemon cardboard children trading card games wasn't an essential business. So they literally, the printer go burr. They shut those down. They went off. The on switch went from power on to power off. And there is just a time where there was no new cards being printed. Can you imagine if that happened today? That same scenario? Where the printers at Millennium Print Group, somebody walked into the power plant or into the plant and said, all right, we're going to turn off all these printers for a couple weeks. Do you even know the madness that would ensue? I mean, there's 13 billion cards a year being printed. Do you know how many cards per week that would be? That would be in the hundreds of millions less cards that would hit the market in the next couple months. And the lag that would happen from that would be felt, oh my God. But again, there was a different hobby in 2020. The hobby was able to recover from that. But if we had that same scenario now, where Pokemon puts out the press release, we're gonna print Prismatic to max capabilities, and they decide to shut off the printers, everybody's gonna say, well, that wouldn't happen. Well, that did happen in 2020. It did. It actually happened because of COVID and because of lockdowns and because of non-essential businesses. So there was a black swan event that happened there, and there was actually a point in time where you could actually go, ping, ding, nailed it. When Cosmic Eclipse was getting a reprint, well, that is why it didn't. Team Up was probably going to get a reprint. If not a reprint, it was definitely going to get packs and different products. Why didn't it? Bingo. Yeah, we did see the Unbroken Bonds get a reprint. Unify Minds a little bit too, but the reason that Team Up and Cosmic never did was because of just the timeline that it wound up, that the printers. And then what happened? Well, in early 2020, Sword and Shield was released. Sword and Shield Base, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, Champion's Path, and then November 2020, well, Logan Paul does his box break in October 2020, coming right off the heels of Logan Paul box break. Bunch of people funneling in November 2020. You got a Pikachu set in Vivid Voltage, introduction of Amazing Rares, Hyper Chunkachu, Pikachu on an ETB, Pikachu in the booster box. You have Champion's Path that have 2 Chase Charizards, so literally a Gen 1 person that hasn't seen Pokemon in the last 25 years could pick up a product, and you got Pikachu on the front, or you pick up an you got an ETB of Champion's Path, you got the Charizard on the front. It's like, I know both these Pokemon. That's Pikachu, that's Charizard. My grandma knows who Pikachu and Charizard is. Like, what an easy introductory set to get back in. And then it's like, and that Pikachu Hyper Rare is selling for how much money? And that Charizard, or both the Charizard chases from Champion's Path are selling for how much? And then right after that, you got Battle Styles, and Battle Styles introduces Altarts, and you got a Sleepy Tea, and you got an Urshifu, and they're selling for how much? And then you got Shine and Fates, which has another shiny Charizard. I remember shiny Charizard from Neo Destiny. You got a new shiny Charizard, all full art and shiny, and it's selling for how much money? That was the catalyst that took that one. But now, we're getting national attention. We're getting the news. Yeah, it looks bad when people are going into Costco and they're doing MMA, 2 men enter, 1 man live. But here we are. Here we are. All right, let me keep going. Let's see if I can making my way downtown to the bottom of the chat. Now I'm homebound. Now I want... Nope, not going to do it. It's not just investors... Okay, let's see. It's not just investors buying, collectors, YouTubers, rip and shippers. These are all people grabbing them from scalpers. And consumers. Pokemon Finance guy. It's not just investors buying. Oh, he's de-wrote collectors. It's not just collectors. It's just straight up consumers. Collectors means, yeah, you're collecting, like, with a purpose. I think there's just some people that are buying to buy. And then you have investing buying, collectors, YouTubers, rip and shippers, and then there's just speculators. There are people that are just speculating on Pokemon. I guess you could lump in speculators with investors, but I think investors usually buy a little bit more strategically than speculators. There's just this whole speculator too, where it's like, hey, are you investing? It's like, no, I'm just kind of speculating on it. Then they don't really feel that they're investing per se. They're just, it's like, have you done any research into it? Nah, I'm just speculating that I think that this is going to do really well. It's like a Tickle Me Elmo. How many people went in, this is a real throwback, but like, how many people just speculated on Tickle Me Elmo? It's like, are you investing in Tickle Me Elmo? It's like, no. Are you a collector of Tickle Me Elmo? No. I'm just kind of speculating on it. It's like, okay, we got that too. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if people are trolling me right now. I'm trying to read something. Let's see. Yeah, people are just kind of. I feel like chat is just kind of having a lot of conversations, talking about just some of their plays and stuff. Kevin Clear says the Pokemon Company uses a magic 8-ball to decide what to do. Should we reprint Surge and Sparks? Ask again later. Exactly. Oh my god, did I just get to my insane comment? Cheval says, might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie. Baby, bye, bye, bye. There you go, Chevals. Nailed it. Jeff said, time to send everything to Z&G as long as it's over $100. Tell him PK sent you. Make sure you type in, PK promo code 5. I think, is that how I do it? Is James out there watching? I've been asking James for a PK promo code. And all the promo code would be if you send items to James from Z&G and one of them sells for below $100, he'll waive that $5 under $100 fee. And I asked James for that, and he told me no, because he said he doesn't want to offer promos because he's afraid it will devalue the brand, because like he feels like, you know, promos are kind of something. And I'm like, maybe I just have to tell people it exists, that the promo code exists, and then James will just have to honor it. It might be big braining. Maybe I just gotta tell James again. Catch 'em all collectibles said a 45-minute late. 2x. We rocket ship emoji in. Jasper said, PK, would you recommend buying like this for Shrouded? I just bought that Pokemon Center ETB case a week ago. Pokemon Finance says, you gotta at least go 8x speed. Kevin Clare said, did PK get a paper cut? This is my kid's Crayola crayon. Cardboard cuts is a real hazard to my job. My hands are all beat up. We're going to open up about 150,000 packs this year. 150,000 packs. That's a lot of cardboard. That's a lot of paper cuts. I need hazard pay. You hear that, Dan? Hazard pay. Battle Styles. How is Battle Styles doing? Is that still on Pokemon Center? I don't even know. There was a lot of booster boxes. I didn't realize there was as many when I bought it. Battle Styles. I wish I could get it updated on how much, yeah, I think, Battle Styles is still on Pokemon Center. There was about 15,000 when I put that posting up. Yeah, it's still available. Wait, timeout. Why is this Canadian? Oh, it said $186.99 Canadian. Why did I get Pokemon Center Canada? Okay, there we go. What was that about? I don't even live in Canada. My sponsored... Look at this. I'll share my screen. This is what came up. I don't know why it had me going. The sponsor link was for Canada, PokemonCenter.com. And I saw $186.99. I said, wait a second. And then I realized it was the old Canadian dollarinos. That fake Canadian money. About the old rattle and his fake Canadian dollarinos. All right. Let's see. I use that for today. Let's see. Alright. Looking. Oh, jump to the bottom. Alright. Shit. Should I keep going? I should keep going. Okay. Where are we? Alright. I'm looking. Give me time. Give me time to find out where I was. Now that I jump to the bottom. Let's see. Son of Mewtwo says if the pull rates for Prismatic stay low and the SRs stay pack exclusive, the price ain't going down. Yeah. Let's see. People are just mad. People are just mad in the chat right now. I get it. People are mad. Man. I'm sorry, I'm reading a lot of this stuff. It's just kind of funny. Listen to some people's comments. It's funny watching when people, you know, it's just, I'm sorry, I am reading. I know I'm not really interacting. I'm just reading. I gotta skip a bunch of these. I just wonder, you know, unfortunately a lot of these people just, I wonder how long they will be wrong until they finally don't care. Like, I wonder if they, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just, you can stick your head in the sand. I mean, it is what it is. You can stick your head in the sand on a lot of this stuff. We're booming. Alright, screw it. Stream's over. Should we stream? You know what? Before we go, we're going to stream for a little while longer. Because I think old Mr. Danny Boy, Catch 'em All Collectibles, is streaming. So I will funnel you guys over to him. But, yeah. I will do it so we funnel over to him. I'm going to leave you with my Jerry Springer final thought. Okay? Good old Jerry Springer. Miss Jerry Springer. Maybe, I think he's dead. Was he in the mayor of Cincinnati? Either way. You could go about this hobby right now in a couple ways. You can sit on the sideline and kick yourself for not engaging in with it. But if you set yourself up for success right now, why not take advantage of position yourself to where you are right now? If you've been watching this channel, you have to be positioned. It's almost impossible to not be positioned, right? If you've bought anything, you gotta be doing good. Why not take advantage of it? Why not maximize what you are doing, maximizing the way you interact with this hobby, maximizing all the benefits that come with it? This hobby is so strong right now. I mean, I read one of the comments in the chat, people are saying after the 30th anniversary things are going to crash. It's like, based off of what? Like a hunch? Like, you just got a hunch after the 30th anniversary? What happens if at the 30th anniversary Pokemon puts out the PK Dream set of all? Everyone always asks me, it's like, what would be the greatest set ever? It's just, give me my Super Smash Brothers set. Nintendo or Pokemon and the Nintendo IP already have collaborated together. Shout out Mario Pikachu. You can have a Mario Pikachu because he's in Super Smash. You could have a Fox. You could have a Samus. I mean, you could have a Link. You could have a Donkey Kong. And all it is just Pikachu with clothes on. Charmander with a clothes on. Bulbasaur with clothes on. Just dressed up as these different Super Smash Brother characters. Their Snake is in Super Smash. You give me a Snake Pikachu right now from Metal Gear Solid. Game over. Give me a Super Smash expansion. I'm not going to go on my whole PK. Give me a Super Smash Brothers expansion. But it's definitely possible because we literally have already seen it happen with the Mario Pikachu. We have Pikachu in clothes as Mario. Mario and Luigi are both in Super Smash. You could just, it's the same IP. It's Nintendo. There's nothing preventing it. We know it's possible because the Mario and Luigi collabs have already proved that is possible. We know. It's not a question of it will never happen. It's not possible. We've literally already seen Pikachu in Mario's clothes. And how have those cards done? And so what if that set comes out? And it's like, so you can't just say, well, after the 30th anniversary comes out, the hype is over. Because you say that, and I raise you, what if the Super Smash Brothers set comes out? It's over. Like, we're talking about Team Rocket like it's the best set ever, and we don't know a card in it because it's the modern, or it will be the modern set for a while, and then eventually the new Team Rocket set will be vintage. But that's what it comes down to. It's like, you don't know what happens after the 30th anniversary. You don't know what the next thing Pokemon introduces is. You got to remember too, Pokemon is very, very good at just giving you a little bit, just a little bit. It took Pokemon all the way up until Scarlet and Violet to have it where you're guaranteed a holo. Like, you hear that? You just think about that. So from base set all the way up. I mean, yeah, there were some specialty sets like Shine Legends and shit. You're guaranteed holos, or Champion's Path, you're guaranteed a holo. But for main expansion sets, from base set coming out in 1999 all the way to our Sword and Shield 12.5 set, which is Crown Zenith, you could get a non-holo rare. It took all the way till just, and they gave us gold borders after a lot of people were asking for silver. It took all the way till Scarlet and Violet, which just was released not too long ago, to literally give it where you're guaranteed a holo. Yeah, we had reverse holos, which are introduced at Legendary Collection, but a lot of people don't really look at reverse holos as hits. If you do think that, well, next time you go open up your Evolving Skies pack and you get a green code card, hopefully you're going to be happy about it because you at least got a reverse holo. Like, no, nobody wanted the reverse holos, but now nobody wants the holos. But, you know, pre-Battle Styles, holo rare was still a hit. Still a hit pre-Battle Styles. Battle Styles, what, February 2021? So from... I mean, that's the way. I mean, that's why when you open up these pre-Trainer Gallery sets, anything pre-Brilliant Stars, it really sucks to open a lot of this stuff. That's why, at least with Cosmic Eclipse, you had character rares. At least with Vivid Voltage, you had Amazing Rares, so you had at least a little bit of a shot, and it felt good. Felt like you weren't bricking, but like you open up these pre-Trainer Gallery sets, these pre-Brilliant Stars. I think I was saying Battle Styles. I don't know why I said that. Pre-Brilliant Stars, when the introduction of trainer galleries, like it, we booming. All right. Anyways, guys, listen, I'm ending the stream right now. Mr. Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles stream just started. Do me a favor. Go in there. Tell old Danny boy PK sent you. Hopefully he is live. Let me double check. Dan is. All right. Dan's got 34 people watching. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream. It's going to redirect you right into there. All right, guys, love you. As always. Catch you on the next video. Be safe. Whatever. Who cares?